Hello and welcome to a Time special presentation. Join us every week for Thirukkural with the Times, where we explore real-world lessons from the classic Tamil text, Thirukkural, with motivational speaker, author and diversity champion, Bharathi Baskar, as she explores the masterpiece. In this episode, listen to her delve into the issue of sexual violence and the quest for justice, beginning with a modern-day account of a rape victim's anguish as she faces the reality of a perpetrator living freely in her neighborhood, and then moving on to a historic case from 1612 Rome involving Artemisia Gentileschi, a young artist who was raped by her teacher, Agostino Tassi.
I was watching an interview with the rape victim. "What's the case status?" the interviewer asks her. "They have left the man out on bail and he lives in the same street," said the girl. "He should have been given a death sentence by now," said she sternly. "But it's me, the victim, who's being punished to see his face every day." The silent anger in her voice did not let me sleep that night. Circa 1612, there was a trial held in Rome. Artemisia Gentileschi, a 19-year-old girl who Agostino Tassi, her art teacher, raped. Artemisia's father, Orazio, an artist himself, filed the case. In those days, the court documentation archival system in Rome was so good that all those details are available even today. In those days in Rome, rape was not viewed as a violation of a woman's right, but it was viewed as a matter of family honor. The trial in Rome came about because Orazio had petitioned the Pope for compensation, because his family's honor was put to test. The trial details are gory. Tassi brought in a parade of witnesses to denounce Artemisia as promiscuous. 2 midwives examined her body in front of the judge, and in a barbaric procedure deemed necessary to prove her honesty, iron ropes were tightened around her finger while she is questioned. "What I am saying is true, it's true, it's true," she pleaded 3 times, over and over again, until the torture ended. At the end of the trial, Tassi was found guilty. He was exiled from Rome, but only for a while. As he was the favorite artist of the rulers, he returned back to Rome and lived freely. It's interesting to know that certain things have not changed since 17th century. What happened to Artemisia afterwards? She continued her journey as an artist. She was one of the few women artists of the Renaissance era, but she was always referred to as the woman who was raped. Today, she is recognized for her work, especially for her painting Susanna and the Elders. Susanna and Elders is a biblical story. You find this in the Old Testament. In this story, Susanna, an honorable woman, is taking bath in her garden when 2 elders sneak in. They approach her demanding sexual favors. When she refuses, the 2 elders blackmail her, saying they will accuse her of having an illicit relationship. Even after the blackmail, Susanna does not oblige. The 2 elders, who were also the judges in that area, take revenge on her and gets her arrested for adultery. They claimed that they were witnesses to her act of adultery that was committed under a tree. Susanna was about to be sentenced to death. That was the punishment for adultery in those days. Just when the punishment was about to be completed, Daniel, a wise young man, intervenes in the court proceedings. He challenges the verdict and seeks re-examination of the witnesses. The witnesses were called by him separately, and he cross-examines them about the location of the alleged act of adultery. While one of the elders says it took place under an oak tree, the other says that it took place near a mastic tree. The contradiction exposed them, and Susanna was acquitted. And that's the biblical story. This is the painting that was chosen by Artemisia, and her painting is recognized even today. I keep wondering why Artemisia chose this biblical story. Perhaps she was a victim who knew the perils of sexual violence and the pain of going through the legal process. More than that, I think she liked the way Daniel rendered justice. He not only acquitted Susanna, but he also ordered the two elders to be killed. That is the justice all victims of sexual abuse want and seek. Thiruvalluvar supports capital punishment. He pronounces that a king should kill cruel offenders in order to protect his good subjects. He also compares such a king to a peasant or a farmer who protects his tender grain by removing the weeds. Kolaiyir Kodiyaarai Vendoriththal, Pyngoozh Kalai Kattadhanodu near. King who decrees death to cruel offenders is a peasant who pulls the weeds from the tender grains.